Good afternoon. Yes, another upload for some of you business owners / cleaners. Today I want to talk to y'all about stepping your game up on your bi-weekly and maybe your monthly accounts during the winter time. For those areas who see snow, a lot of it, you got to deal with the salt and everything. So if you're on a monthly account, when you finally do get there, the windows are going to be wrecked. So you'll have to work twice as hard for the same amount of money. And here's how you can get extra money without raising your price. And no one will be the wiser. Beforehand, you can send a notice out to your monthly customers and say during the winter months, you change your service from monthly to bi-weekly because of the salt and because of the way the windows are saturated with salt. It's almost impossible to clean a window properly without getting rid of all the salt. They don't have to know what process you use to get it done, but you let them know that it's to their advantage to have the service done a little bit more during the winter months because of the bad weather and the salt, especially if they're a food establishment. They will be okay with this. It's only one extra cleaning. You don't be a pig and go on your monthly accounts, I'm going to come out every week. You know, let's be realistic here. But every 2 weeks, just during the winter months, or maybe just that month, it's not going to break the piggy bank. You feel me? This is how you give yourself a raise during this time and you cash in on it. But not only that, you gave yourself a 50% raise. You gave yourself less work because you're maintaining the glass more, which means that you're not going to have to scrub the heck out of it. All right? This is how you give yourself a raise without raising your prices. Now, try it out. Not saying you do it to all your customers. You know what accounts you can do it and what accounts you can do it. Mom and pop stores, it could be either or, because they may have the funds, but they may not have the funds. Most of the time, mom and pop stores are friendly like that. If it's corporate, then you'll have to go through the proper channels to get okay to do it. But most likely they will be on board, because corporate, especially if it's a franchise and a restaurant at that, they're going to really want the extra service during those winter months. How many times have you guys gotten calls out before the service was due because the windows were wrecked because of the salt and the snow? Or sometimes even if you know a big snowstorm comes, you're not due to that following week. You can go there a week early and they don't mind. Say, hey, listen, I was driving by. I noticed your windows were dirty. Did you want me to clean them today? If not today, because it depends. If you have to do the inside, they may say, oh, tomorrow morning, come. You know, they don't mind stepping the service up a week. You get the money that much earlier. You know, it's only 52 weeks in a year. So if you can move one business up a couple of weeks out of that year, you're ahead of the game, if you can catch my drift. You know, you can step it up a notch. Even if the service is due or isn't due, you can also, if bad weather is not a factor, you can also say anything to get the service done so you could make your more week productive. You can say anything. It may be true or may not be true. It doesn't matter. You're letting the customer know that you will be there a week early. I'm going on vacation. Or I have a big project, I'll be out of town. I mean, anything could be said to get that extra cleaning under your belt before the holiday's over, before the new year rings. You get that extra cleaning on those accounts and you never look back. No one's going to be upset. You're happy, they're happy, their windows is getting clean. It's not like you're robbing them. You know what I mean? Next thing I want to tell you about, remember I told you about being positive and taking a conversation wherever you want it to go. And it just opens all types of doors for you. That apparatus that I built, I have, ever since I had it, I had people looking with intrigued look on their face. They're intrigued about how the water comes out. I do a Vietnamese place next to the windows that's covered in white. They came out immediately after they saw my apparatus. They never saw it before. You know, and I've been doing them. He said, how long you been doing me? I said, since you moved from the other store. He said, yeah, see? He said, you have competition around here. He gave me his business card, but I stick with you, you know? Because, you know, you've always been happy, your work is good. I said, yeah. I always try to communicate with my customers. As long as you guys are happy, I'm happy. We got to talking and you know, saying I had to start working smarter instead of harder. And since because I got rid of my help, I had to work like 2 people. So I had to do anything and everything that's going to allow me to do that and be more efficient and still provide the same quality service you deserve. Yes, I ran that down to him. So after getting to talking, he says, you're hiring? In a joking kind of way. But I said, yeah, I wish. And he said, you know what I would do? I'd get a van and go in this plaza, drop them off, and say that I'm going to give you 50% of the job, and then you take 50%, and I can be off another place cleaning the windows. That's what I would do. I said, yeah, that's the key, finding good help. He said, get out there and find some good help. Easier said than done. Now, because the conversation went so well and he was smiling about my apparatus and blown away, and I explained how it was built and all this stuff, it's a conversation piece, all right? Just like the Wagtail, it's a conversation piece. It's not an average tool that somebody that cleans windows, a normal civilian, would see on a daily basis. So they're intrigued. This is a conversation starter. So he proceeded to throw me more business by telling me he's opening a restaurant in 2 months. It's a Vietnamese cuisine place. And if anyone had Vietnamese food before, it's good. I like ethnic food, so I like all types of different varieties. But some people don't like ethnic foods. They don't like anything that they're not used to. But see, Vietnamese, they use a lot of coconut milk. They cook with a lot of coconut milk in their dishes. I mean, it's delicious. It's quite delicious. But I'm going to eat in there when he opens up. But he says, I got the job. And as soon as it opens up, he said, just make sure you take care of me. I said, oh, don't worry. I thank you for turning me on. You know, and a contractor came out of that place and he spoke to me because I smiled at him and nodded and waved. He said, hey, how's it going? And he says, what are you doing? He said, I'm just cleaning the windows next door. And he says, I said, oh, you working in there? He said, yeah, I'm doing the construction in there. He said, yeah, the guy next door told me he's opening up his restaurant soon. I said, how long you think? In a couple of months, it'll be ready. So the contractor, we got to talking. We talked about stuff that he wants to talk about, because I talk about the building process and how the township has to come out and approve it for opening. And a lot of times, if one little thing is off, you got to wait another week or 2 before. He said, no, not around here. Then he started talking about the jobs that he goes to. A lot of times, it's the construction person's neglect. You know, they just don't fix things in a hurry. So that's what delays the job. But with him, he's on top of it. So I was talking to him on his level, something that it's a pleasure for him to speak to somebody about. who's in the same service industry, maybe not construction, but I still provide a service like he does. So we were able to talk in a positive way. So I said, hey man, if you ever got jobs that you need somebody to clean the windows, or you know a window cleaner, here's a stack of my cards. He said, oh yeah, thank you. So he said that like that would be a good thing for him, because we can give each other business. You feel me? It's all about networking. A closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't nod your head, smile, and speak, you don't know what kind of doors you're closing on yourself. And because I nodded, I spoke to him, I just may get some business from that guy. But in addition to that, get up on your technology. It doesn't hurt to be high tech, because your customers see that you're up on the latest gadgets that's going to provide the best service for your customer. You got to let them know you're hip and you're up on your game, because people pay attention to that. They might not tell you this, but they pay attention to that. And you see, he was paying attention the moment I got out the car. Don't never think that people aren't looking at you and paying attention to you. Just for those who plan on skipping windows or not doing what you're supposed to do, don't ever think nobody's not watching you. You see, that guy watched me, and he saw something that he never saw before, and it blown him away. He was perplexed. He had to come out and start a conversation, but the conversation went so positive, he felt the impulse and the need to tell me he's opening his restaurant, which he didn't have to do. Now, had that conversation didn't go down today, I would have never known. If I didn't have that apparatus and I just came to clean the windows like I always do, he wouldn't have had the impulse to come out and have a conversation with me. Something that he never does. All right? But the day he did. Why? Because I'm working high tech now. You know? Everything is about your image of you and your business and what you take and pride in your work. It shows. But on top of that, Mac-a-fac-a-lac, peace be peace. I'm going off to a live canvassing, an exterior house which has a lot of windows. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you in the next one.